Unity and variety. So you have this unity. That's why the human body is the most beautiful thing in the world, because it's got the greatest unity and variety in unison, in one figure. And obviously, for us, the human body is the most beautiful thing in the world, because if it wasn't, we wouldn't reproduce. So the human body is obviously the pinnacle of artistic achievement. If you can capture the human body, then you can capture anything. So these are just some details. And this was another figure. These are called écorchés, which is French for to debark, to take the skin off. And it's also an academic exercise and way of studying. And this is how I teach art. I teach art from the bones up. And it's also the way I like to approach philosophy and theology, work from the bones up, so there's a solid foundation all the way. So this is a figure of the resurrected Christ. So you have the bones on one side and the muscles on the other. So in New York, we also, all those works are done in New York. This is a kind of a bust I did in New York, just to give you an idea of how we were working. This is a piece done from, this is a posthumous piece. This is Hobie Baker, a sports hero, a war hero from Princeton University. And this was commissioned by Charles Scribner III. Charles Scribner III is, I have to be careful pronouncing the third with an Irish accent. Get into a lot of trouble. He doesn't like it. Charles, a very nice man, and his father, his grandfather was the founder of Scribner Publishing, and he's basically discovered Hemingway and Scott Fitzgerald, all these characters, which is a very, very interesting story. But he was telling me some of the stories about when he was at home and when he was growing up, and he went down in the morning to feed the cat, and he found that half the cat food was gone. And who was there? But it was on the belly of Ernest Hemingway on the bench, on the couch, after half eating, because he obviously had a fair few pints to drink the night before. He was eating the cat food all night. But Charles is a very interesting guy. And we got to meet in St. Pat's. I used to go to St. Pat's Cathedral when I was in New York, and gradually got to know each other. And he commissioned this, and he commissioned another piece, which you see later on. This is St. Catherine of Siena. St. Josemaria Escrivá. This is for the Catholic Information Center in Washington, D.C. So I did these sculptures with Veronica helping me out here. So Veronica was the secretary of the Catholic Information Center at the time. And so these kind of funded my way, fueled my way through, because to study in New York is really, really expensive. So I took out, thanks to that, I got a £15,000 loan, but I paid it off through these commissions, thanks to Veronica and the team, to pay off my debt. So, and this is the previous church. This is the Catholic Information Center, its first site. So the two figures are up there. So that's why they're looking down. So you have to know where your sculptures are going when you do them. But you also have to be aware that sometimes things change and the premises change. And this is the new Catholic Information Center, so they're much lower down. So you know that's the Saint Escrivá on this side, so he's looking down a bit further. And this is another Saint Joseph, which I did. So there's four in this church together. So this is the biggest collection of my work in one place, and it's in Washington, D.C. So first of all, I started off as a sketch. So this is a clay sketch, be about that size. So you work out all the issues in that scale, and then you take photographs all the way around, and then you send it to your client and you get approval, or could you change this, and then you make changes if you see them fit to be changed. And then you enlarge it in bronze, in clay, and then you cast it on bronze. And this is a torch here is for torching the bronze. So you heat up the bronze and you spray acids on it, and those acids eat into bronze and give colour to the bronze. What they do is, it's not like painting the bronze, but it's like education. You're drawing the colours out of the bronze. The colours are in the bronze, but the acids draw certain colours out. Different acids with different temperatures give you different colours. So what I'm doing is I'm drawing out the colour of the bronze. And then you have these double tones, the different tones. You have dark here and light here, and you push out the child and push back the fabric. That way you get a bit of a play. This is a very bad slide of the pornographic picture I was telling you about earlier. This is the dirty filth that was on the wall. So just to give you an idea. This, after 2 years in New York, it was really, really crazy time. But at the end, there was my neighborhood burnt down in Queens. My school burnt down in Tribeca, and a number of other horrific things happened in the Bronx, which I was looking after some kids. And then September 11 happened, all in the same month. So this is like, get me out of here. It was just a crazy time. So what I did was, and my visa had run out and I was illegal and things were really heating up with regard to illegal residence and so. So I left New York and went to Rome. Actually, I went to Rome to pursue a commission, which I didn't get. It was but while I was there, I decided to spend a lot of time with the Pietà, and I did these drawings of the Pietà. So I did 3 drawings of the Pietà from different angles. There's only 2 here, but this was just after September 11. It was an opportunity to really contemplate, because that something like that would really knock you for 6. So this was a way of contemplating what happened and what it means to go through that kind of thing. So the Pietà was a fantastic. It was great to be able to use something, or to contemplate something so intimately for 3 weeks. Really was a fantastic experience. This is a piece I did while I was in Rome. This is a Saint Escriva for the headquarters of Opus Dei in New York, which stars, this oratory is actually in the Da Vinci Code. And I was quite surprised. I heard about this book when I was doing this, and I said, oh, they were talking about this Da Vinci Code. What's this Da Vinci Code? So I went to not Hodge Speakers, the one they have in Borders, or whatever it is, in New York. I said, what's this book? So I flicked through the book, and there was this color, the book, they had colour photographs in it, so it's like a colouring version of Da Vinci Code. So I was flicking through it, and there was this oratory with I said, oh my God, I mean, this controversial book. But, so this is just a sculpture. This sculpture is based on a Bernini. I'm a big fan of Bernini. Bernini uses a theatrical device where, see, I was asked to do a life-size sculpture of Saint Escriva in this small enough oratory. And in order to respect the hierarchy within the chapel, because there's architectural considerations to take into consideration also, they understood that I had to communicate that if you want a life-size figure, you really need to respect the hierarchy that's already there. So the Blessed Sacrament is number 1, obviously. So this is the most important piece in the oratory. Second to that is the reredos, the image on top. So you have the altarpiece. And the third would be the image of the next figure, the saint in the church. So in order to respect this hierarchy, what I did is I used the Bernini technique, which is a theatrical technique. So he would put a figure in the wall, contemplating what's going on in another area. So when you look at Saint Escriva, even though it's bigger than the tabernacle, it's actually less important because he is he's looking towards the Blessed Sacrament. So when you look at him, you're guided towards the Blessed Sacrament. And this is the thing that Saint Escriva used to talk about all the time. And when he was giving meditations, he would always refer to the Blessed Sacrament in the chapel. So this is a way of communicating his ideas through a sculpture and getting across a very important concept of the Christocentrality of the chapel. This is a marble version. I made a plaster version of the same sculpture, and I'm carving it now in marble. That's in the studio in Florence. This is a Cardinal Newman for the CIC, the Catholic Information Centre, which you saw earlier on in the chapel. This was done in my studio in Florence. This one was done in Dublin, in